Well, we just got done racing for the entire night. A fifth out of the 9-hole from Braceford Landing. You know, I looked at the entries after they were made official, and geez, he's 15-1 now. 9-hole, I guess moving up a class at non-winners of a horse that raced for so much last 3, 5, 6, whatever the hell it is, 4, I don't know. But I mean, you have Jigendaw, as they call him, Jigendaw, and Shadrach Hanover was in there, and there was one other really good horse in there too, Explosion. All three of those horses have raced in the Open at Mohawk at one time or another. And you know, we talk about horses that slide a little bit, or you know, not on their game. Those are 3 horses right there that have slid a little bit. Right from now, I don't really haven't been following them that close, but I remember their names from last year, and they have slid a little bit. When you're looking at the year-end review, I guess. I haven't watched them the last few months, but 3 pretty talented horses, and James was he was looking for room. Brace isn't the type to just sprint through when he found room. He's more of a grinder type. He's got that long, loafy gait to him, and I thought the horse raced well. Probably trotted 54-3 from post 9. It was some tough contenders. So I guess I'm not disappointed with his race. And that was to end off the night. Now, we talked about the earlier part of today's card. I think we had 14 horses racing today. Arson kicked off the day. Man, I want to talk about, that was the one horse I thought just was going to find it difficult today. Coming in short, a little bit flat. You know, he had got to Kentucky, a little tiny bit under the weather. Eric was very cautious with him. Trained him in 2 minutes. Only one training trip in that horse from when he won in 150-1 at Philadelphia and went to the field. Only one training trip back, a straight mile in 2 minutes. And for him to go out and win in 50K, I talked to Scotty after, and he just drove him perfect, right? Very cagey drive. You know, instead of being forced first over and attacking, kind of took up space until the horse backed off a bit that was coming to him. He was able just to work out a perfect trip and just got up in the shadow of the wire. Just a very, very good drive from him. Now, the next one was Jimbre, 58-2, 28-2 on the end of it. Looked good, raced good, showed a little bit of mucus and blood. You don't ever want to see that. Now, I haven't got a chance. First off, Dr. Dana Jordan is a commissioned vet there. She was looking at all her horses today, scoping, running fluids. Just a huge thanks to her. It's not easy to get veterinarians down around the Oak Grove area, and to have somebody that's going to be dedicated enough to scope your horses and hydrate your horses. It's a huge feather in our cap, so a big shout out and a thank you to her for doing that. I haven't spoke to her directly on the phone about what she found in Jimbre, other than there was a tiny bit of blood there and some mucus. Now, it's a week off and then the next race for them. So I'm left wondering, we have options. Now, when it comes to Jimbre specifically, if there was a specific amount of blood, let's say it was 2 out of 5, or as we like to call it in the States, 4 out of 10. Let's say it was that much. We could simply just turn her out to Lexington, work on her feet, dry those lungs up, and make sure that we were okay for Kentucky, for Lexington. Or if it was just a little bit, a few streaks here and there, we have the 2 weeks to dry her up also. Now, I have a sneaking suspicion that a component of that bleeding was maybe I had asked Eric to go a hard mile with her down there. And when you're training them really hard in the heat, in between starts, a lot of the times it may suit us, and it may service us to maybe give them a little Lasix if we were going to train them hard in that regard. Just because if you have a tiny, maybe the horse had a couple little flecks 5 days ago, and because the horse didn't get dexamethasone or Lasix, then those few little flecks put a little bit of extra strain on those lungs. And then today, when she's asked to really work hard, a couple little streaks showed up. More times than not, that's what happens. So I'm not saying that's what happened here, because I don't know. I'd be interested to hear Dr. Jordan's take on that. So that was where Jimbre won. Now, Scotty, I talked to him again about Jimbre. He said she was a little strong in the face in the post parade. He liked her, but he thought she needed to be closer to the action to be effective. She didn't seem like the type that was going to circle the field from 7th and beat that crew of horses. Those are some tough stake races today. We'll get to Mory's, which was just a burner today. Those two colts, when you look at the entire scope of the stakes today for 2-year-olds, that was an incredibly fast mile. So Jimbre, we got a 5th, beat 6, 58-2, 28-2, got some money, and I was reminded, and I forgot about this until after from Scotty, is that 50% rewards are in effect. So 85% of that is $2,000. We actually have $4,000 for her. I forgot all about that. Those are the Kentucky bonus rewards for buying Kentucky breds. So that was the scoop on Jimbre. We'll see what takes place with her over the next few days after I've got a chance to talk to Eric, after we got a chance to talk to Dr. Jordan, and really get a grasp of what is likely to have taken place here and how is the best way to mitigate that. So that's where we're at. I think it's worth noting that we're not talking about an abundance of blood. It was just present. So the next horse that we went with today was Weslam Warrior. The only letdown of the day, quite frankly, Scotty said, and I noticed this, I didn't see the start of the race. I was doing a million things, and I turned it on just as they went under the wire, and I see him way back. I'm like, what happened with this horse? And then they talked about how he made a break getting into the last turn. I watched a replay. That wasn't Scotty's fault. You can see the horse start to fall apart. I had asked Dr. Jordan first, we got to have answers. Scoped him, he scoped clean. We're going to draw his blood tomorrow, and we're going to treat him for EPM. But I would suspect in that blood work, you're going to find a little bit higher than normal elevated AST muscle count. That's generally what you see as the horses lose their gait, get a little sloppy, get pacey, and then finally roll off stride. He didn't make a break. He relented. He got pacey and made a break, which he's never done in his life, ever. So it wasn't bleeding. It wasn't his feet. I think there are only two things that could explain that. That would be tying up, and I suppose bleeding, but he didn't bleed. So tying up and or I would suspect maybe EPM may cause a little bit of that. Just by his gait, just the way he lost his gait. I'm curious to see what the AST looks like. We will treat him out of an abundance of caution for EPM, but I suspect we're going to find this in his muscle count, because I said to Scotty, he was bomb-proof at the Meadows when I qualified him, and quite frankly, if there isn't an immediate and obvious answer, that's exactly where he'll be heading back to immediately. So we'll draw blood, and we'll see what comes of Weslam Warrior. Really, the only letdown for me was today was Weslam Warrior. I want to know what happened with this guy, so we can get him back on the rails right away. This is a very, very talented colt, and was a little disappointed to see him make that break. Now our next horse was it a memory and imagination? I feel I jumped over one here. Momento Mory. I jumped over him earlier. Momento Mory raced like a monster. Scotty said he was a little aggressive the whole way, and I told him, I said, you got to remember, when he's in a hunt like that, he's never been beaten, right? Not in training, not in anything. When he's been close and been in striking range, he's made a mess of the horse in front of them. This was the first time somebody actually shoved him back. And you could see when he ran in coming out of the last turn, I think he was a little surprised that horse kind of fought the way he did. Very talented colt, the colt that beat him, and Mory is no slouch either. As I said, Scotty, the one thing Scotty said was his horse was tight to the pylons, and Mory kind of caught him off guard. As Brandon Bates came back to him, he kind of took himself out of the two-hole, and he said, at that point, now I'm in attack mode. He said, I would have waited till the head of the lane. He said, he kind of caught me off guard. His horse ran in, and as he did, his wheel ducked in closer to the pylons. Now, Mory's in a position to attack, and he just decided he was going to attack. And he said, at that point, now I got to stop him, get my wheel out around him, and take off. And as we did that, we did it very flat-footed, and he said, I want to believe that cost us the race. That's very possible. It did. But I told him, I said, Scott, who cares? He's a nice colt. He was second going for 40, and he was beat by probably the only horse that it looks like can trot with him in Kentucky. So I'm sure we'll find this guy again soon enough. But for right now, I don't think the horse raced bad. I said, was he trotting good? Trotting great. I said, as far as being aggressive, that's fine. first start in a new place, he's going to be a little aggressive. That's fine. It's not a big deal. I think the horse will be just fine. Just do exactly what you're doing. Just be Scott Zeron and teach the horse to race. And I think we're going to have the colt we all want to have. Memory and Imagination, one of my partners said, that was the one I thought he should have won. Yeah, here's the thing. So, Memory and Imagination has been, when you look at him, his physical stature, he has been an overachiever since the day we put a harness on him. Overachieve all the time. Go, 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 go. What he has, he will give you. Now, him and Pickpocket both raced almost 15 days ago. And they never had, was it 15 days ago? I think it was. In that time frame, they never trained hard. Not one time. One, I didn't want to get Memory and Imagination down there, train him hard, and have him spring a leak. That'll ruin our whole summer. So I just said, you know what, treat him and train him easy. Train him mile 15, 12, 15, something like that. He was likely a little short coming in today. We'll talk about Pickpocket, who did the exact same thing coming in today. We'll talk about both of them. Very, very different situations. Memory and Imagination is a smaller colt in stature, and I think probably missed that little bit of training, but I don't regret that in the least. Eric and Kathy did a great job with this horse. Scott loves him. He said he's such an ugly little horse to watch go, but he is such a worker. He gives you what he has. And I told him, I said, if you drive him like he's 5-1 all the time, you'll do nothing but make money. But if you go out there and think you're going to power move him because he's 50 cents on the dollar, it says right here, it's just not going to happen. Scotty goes, the horse that beat him, I thought was our biggest competition. As it turned out, it was. The other horses in there, International Law, Vocalized, these are all okay horses. They're not slouchers. I think Memory and Imagination raced great, and he'll race even better next time. He's been down there. He's a little more acclimated now. We can keep him a little bit tighter. I think the horse was great and raced very, very good. And then we got to Old Picker, cleared to the front, 27-2. I'm like, I don't know how he's going to race, right? This is a horse that never bled in his life, bled in his qualifier, put on Lasix, didn't bleed at the Meadowlands, but did bleed both in training and the final of the Wellwood. A little bit, but had Lasix. Now he's moving to Kentucky. No Lasix. Pa Lasix. How's he going to be? Eric said, what do you think? I said, we trained him in like 2-3 or 2-4, 4 days out, and he showed a trickle of blood. I wouldn't train this horse hard, and I would treat him with Lasix. So I think Eric said he trained him in 212 or 215. He was good. Come in today, and Scott said, yeah, he was trotting sound, a little flat, not as great on the front anyway. When he looked the best for Scott, he was kind of bottled up till halfway down the lane and kind of knifed his way through and won. Third beat a head. HD head. Raced very, 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 very good. I was really, really happy with what I saw from Pickpocket today. As I said to Scott, you got to give the colt a break. He did show a trickle of blood. Not much, a less than 1. So very, very, very small amount. So we're on the right track, but he did show a little bit. Now it is, I think, 2 weeks back to the next division. It is for the 2-year-olds. I hope it is for the 3-year-olds also, which gives us a little more time to work on him. But clearly Eric and Kathy are making headway with this guy, and he raced good today. I would say a combination of the little bit of blood played a role for sure, and secondly, being a little bit short played a role also. So there's not much we can do about that. It's a super razor thin line to walk here with this horse. And overall, sure, you want to see third beat ahead turn into 1 by ahead, but that's racing, and he literally was beat ahead, and I thought he raced good today. 54-1. The horse continues to race good. And then Grand Slam Dio, Scotty said, honestly, he said 2 things. She was really sharp in the post braid, and I literally think I might have shut her hair off. Okay. He said she raced good. He said the other thing I think that is worth noting, and it's worth noting, is that she'd only qualified in 2-2, right? He said, did you train her hard or school her hard? I said, no, Scott, you're 100% right. She's only ever been in 202. He said, well, she trotted in 58-2 last quarter, 29-1 today, minute and 2/5 last half, and 58 seconds flat. Pretty good mile. You can't ask for too much. Listen, I'm like you. Everybody thinks we're just going to roll into Kentucky and win everything. Everybody's going to be, oh my God, did you see Scott Zeron with the stable horses today? Those guys are so awesome. It doesn't work that way. Everybody has horses they like, right? Stacking Green, Todd Luther's horse, very nice horse. Raced very, very good. Really impressive looking filly. So everybody has horses they like. I like Grand Slam Dio. I like Jimbre. I like Weslam Warrior. I love Momento Mory. I think we got a good crew down there. Now I will give you one caveat. If I speak to Dr. Jordan and she says, Anthony, if you could give her a couple of weeks to get over this, maybe even 3, that'd be great. I'm going to send her right to Lexington and turn her out until Eric ships into Lexington. I think that's fair. I think that's fair to the filly. Very, very good horse. Let's get this nipped in the bud. That's one path. That path will lead to a pivot from another horse. And I will tell you right now, if that is the train of thought that Dr. Jordan has, and Dr. Roberts, who's also our vet down there, if that is what they say, I will ship Rosetta down to Kentucky and she will race in the 2nd division. Now, my partners on Rosetta, just relax. There is nothing set in stone. As of right now, she's still heading to New Jersey. I'm still going to school her tomorrow in about 58 at the Meadows, but she is not going anywhere just yet. So don't get your knickers in a bunch just yet. We don't know what we're doing. I'm just giving you my options as they rattle around in my head. So I was very happy with the way everybody raced today. Now, we did have other horses racing, right? So Arson, fantastic, absolute gold star. Horse was amazing. Jimbre did everything she could. I think Scott's right. One importantly, what does that throat actually look like? Is this something that we need to address aggressively or something we just need to continue on and be aware of? That will be up to Eric, Dr. Jordan, and Dr. Roberts. And if it is, then we can potentially pivot, but that has not even come anywhere near fruition yet. Momento Mory was great. I'm sure now that Scott has got a good look under the hood of Momento Mory and also who he's racing against. I think the sky's the limit for this colt. It always was. Weslam Warrior, what happened today? How do we fix that? How do we mitigate it? How do we get it under control? I will get to the bottom of that with Eric immediately. I will need at least 48 hours so we look at his blood work and try to formulate a plan. Memory and Imagination was great. Pickpocket was great again. Both these horses, all the sophomores showed up for their fights today. Everybody did, and the only one that did not, I will get to the bottom of very, very quickly. Watch Your Mouth. I raced him at Mohawk. I just don't think he belongs at Mohawk. I think one, draw his blood, figure out what's going on there. There was some pimples. We saw that last year. There was a trickle of blood. Do you want to put him on Lasix? That will be a Harry Polt question that he'll have to answer. And I suspect if what you see is what you get tonight with Watch Your Mouth, and he needs to start racing at Grand River or Georgian Downs. Prince Charmer. And Prince is growing up. Got away 7th, circled the field down the backstretch, was a winner in 59. Great job by Hunter Myers. And a great job by Prince. He's really tried. I told you guys, show me a horse that wants to do his work, that can trot like he can, and I'll show you a horse that we can have in an effective position. He's not a Sire Stake horse, probably not even close to a Buckeye horse, but he'll still be a very useful animal. Great job by him and great job by Hunter tonight. Horse looked great. Yo Mister. My take on Yo Mister was simple. I know a lot of people are calling for him to be moved. Look, can we get him back to Sayota? Relax. We don't have a time machine. The horses change. All right. I don't want to hear any more about the horse was so much better down there and he's just a better horse. He's a nice horse. These are good horses he's racing against also. There's no slouches here. My one takeaway from the drive was we got a roller burr on the inside. He doesn't like it. We have flip-flops on him. I'm not sure if he loves the flip-flops now. I don't know him well enough to say that just get those flip-flops off. That's going to be up to Harry. In a perfect world, I think we just change his gear around, put a line pull and a bit burr on the inside of the horse, get that roller burr off him, and put a set of 9/16 on him. If he can do it, he may need those flip-flops. That's going to be up to Harry. I just gave him my 2 cents tonight. I said any changes I would make, take the flip-flops off. If you can get them off him, put a 9/16 on him, get that roller burr off him. Just put, if you think they need a line pull on each side, put a line pull on each side, a bit burr on the left. I think he'll be fine. But no more roller burr. I just think he hates it. He gets a turn, he just lays up on it, and he just hates the roller burr. Just take it off. Horse winning 52 crooked. You don't have to make him. You know, everybody thinks that they have to go straight to go fast. They don't. I can assure you that. I've driven lots of horses also. Happy means fast. Not always straight, but happy. So, Yo Mister, I think he's on the right track. The horse wasn't bad tonight. I think we do need to get that roller burr off him. Looks like money. Wasn't his best effort, but he looked fluid. 53-4, 27-4 on the end of it. And James did tell me the other day, St. Anthony's horse terrible on the front end. I know. I won with him one night, and they might put him on the front the next week, and he felt terrible also. Doesn't do his best work in the front, but it was a good class for him tonight. Did he look spectacular? No, not even close. But he looked okay. And Harry did say to me, we were texting back and forth, he said, I just don't know if the flip-flops in this heat with this sandy kind of track, it just seems like they're not getting hold of it the way they should. From what I saw tonight, hearing Harry talking to James, I think you're probably right. So the problem with money is just beware. You don't want to have him get sore on his feet and start loading weight behind. You know what happened last time. I just don't want to see him get hurt. But I don't have to tell Harry that. Harry is always watching the horses. So, looks like money. That's a Harry job. Harry can figure that out. Serious Dragon was a problem tonight. Looked terrible at George and Grand River, I believe. They went like 51, 52. Harry's the first one to say it. They're just struggling to find a class for him here. He might have to go somewhere. He asked about Hoosier. I don't know if there's a spot in Hoosier for him. I guess I'll have to look around and see, is there a class that fits him well? What class is that? Where does it race? Where does he need to go? Because racing him to finish 7th in Grand River's not helping us, not helping him, it's not helping Harry. And Harry always has, and this is the one thing I had to tell somebody today. We're talking right now, we'll talk about this at the end of the video briefly, but we're moving some of the two-year-olds around, and whether it's the caretakers or the owners, everybody has an idea of where the horses should go and why they should go there. But this is a big boat, right? It is bigger than me, it is bigger than every one singular person in it. But we all need to row in the same direction. And Harry is always looking out for what's best for the stable, and that's what I love about Harry, and that's what I love about Dominic. Everybody understands what's best for the stable is best for everyone, right? And it's not easy for a guy like Harry to say, hey, maybe Serious Dragon, here's a horse that he rehabbed, he brought him back, he got him to where he is, and now he's looking at him saying, there's not a class for him. That's frustrating for Harry, I get that. But I respect the fact that he would say right away, maybe he needs to go somewhere else. It's a hard thing to do. I appreciate it. And we will, as I said to Harry today, we have some horses, some 2-year-olds that are going there. I made the decision. I had pivoted a little bit. Century Legion and Resolve Indeed are going over to Harry. There's a couple of more horses that may go over there, and actually Tyson, our caretaker, may go over there also. Just because there's no point with Tyson having 3 or 4 in Shed Row 8 and Harry's barn being overloaded. So maybe rather than send 2, we'll send 3 or 4 horses over to Harry's. And Tyson, caretaker, will go over also. It might make the most sense. So we'll see, but I know Harry wanted Chicago Hall, and I know it was frustrating, but as I said to him, Dominic's put in a lot of work into these horses. He loves the horses too. Everybody wants to have a great horse, and we will be buying another high-end pacer in the next week. Eventually, one will come up, and as we do, if that horse fits maybe in the Gold Cup also, because the gentleman that wants the main benefactor of this other horse and of Save America is a gentleman in Prince Edward Island. He just asked that, if you could, I'd like to get 2 horses that can race in the Gold Cup, and we can race them wherever afterwards. That second place, I'd like to be Mohawk, so I would like to have a horse that could go east but also come back to Mohawk. And when it does, I think it should probably go to Harry. So, and that's simply because I appreciate the sacrifice that he makes, and he understands that everybody wants a good horse. And it's not like Dominic's had a rough year, but to give him a good horse to really be an anchor in his barn is important. And I appreciate the efforts that everybody does for sure. Born to Dance just got the job done in 54-4, new lifetime mark. Made front and won. I told everybody, you don't have to be a stake horse to be a good horse. He is not a stake horse, and he is not a Buckeye horse, but he's a useful animal. For now, those classes, when they run out, they run out. We still got the fairs. We still can bounce around the odd Buckeye, but it's a good class for him. A great job by Aaron Merriman tonight. A great drive by him. He drove the horse perfect, and he was a winner in 54-4. And to cap our night was Brace for Landing, as I said. Raced very, very good. Ended up finishing 5th, but a good 5th. With some good, and beat some good horses to be 5th. So a great day across the board. Arson kicked it off with a win. Jimbre 5th. Momento Mory 2nd. Weslam Warrior made a break. We're going to work on that. Watch Your Mouth was ineffective. Finished 6th place, 5th. He got paid, but we got to get a good spot for him, a better spot for him. Memory and Imagination, a very, very good 2nd. Pickpocket, a very, very good 3rd. Prince Charmer was victorious. Grand Slam Dio was 4th and looked very good doing it. Serious Dragon, outmatched, finished 6th or 7th. Born to Dance, a winner, Brace for Landing, 5th. A pretty good day at the office. What do we got? 2 wins, 2 or 3 seconds, 3rds, 4ths, 5ths. 2 or 3 didn't make money, but a good day across the board. So with that, I'm going to let you go. It's onward and upward. Tomorrow is a big, big day of qualifying. Ava, Lily, and I are going to be home around 1:15 in the morning. Get up tomorrow at 7 o'clock, 7:30, and head to the Meadows. We're on tour again. The girl and I are on tour again. But tomorrow night, not a lot going on. So we'll get a bite to eat and relax tomorrow night. It'll be nice just to settle again and plan for the rest of the week. So I hope you all had a great day today. All my partners, pretty good day today. Looks like we're in the right place in Kentucky. Very happy with Mory, very happy with the sophomores. Just want to get the other colt back on track and the fillies in the right spot. So Scott was happy, I was happy, everybody should be happy today. A great day. Turn the page. Tomorrow is another day of babies getting ready to race this summer. Take care.